Look at your x's. Do any of them repeat? None of them repeat. It is a function, yes. All right, moving on. So this one, I have a picture of a pencil going across my graph. Why do you think I'm doing that? Vertical line test. This is the first class that remember the word vertical. Good job. So you can always use a vertical line test when a picture of a graph is given. So remember, when you scan it with your pencil, if the graph touches your pencil more than once, it is not a function. So no, not a function. However, we're not just in a little baby junior high class, we're in pre-cal. So we are actually going to prove this algebraically. So on my next page, we're going to take this same equation and we're going to prove it algebraically. And I know that Packet doesn't have a lot of room to do this. I'm going to fill up this whole page. If you want to write on a separate sheet of paper, or if you guys just want to write on the inside cover of your packet, it's blank. So whatever you want to do, if you write small, then you're awesome. I do not write small, so I need more room. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do two things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve for y. The second thing we do is we're going to prove it by substitution. So let me be clear. What I'm going to write in purple is test and quiz stuff. You're going to get tested and quizzed on this. What I write in green is just extra for me to prove it. I just want you to be convinced. Purple is what is required. Green is going to help it sink in a little bit. All right, so here we go. To prove that something is not a function, we're always going to solve for the letter y. Right now, y is not all by itself. It's being squared. It's got an x squared next to it. We got some solving to do. So the x squared right here, it's going to move to the other side. So I'm going to have y squared equals negative x squared plus 25. And then from there, y'all, y is not by itself. It's being squared. How do you undo something being squared? You square root it. Very good. Okay, listen. When you put your pencil to the paper and you draw a square root symbol, you always have to draw something else. Do you guys remember what it is? Watch this. I'm going to draw a square root symbol. I am drawing a square root symbol like it was not printed on the paper. When you draw a square root symbol, you always have to draw that. Y'all remember that? It's okay if you don't. You'll remember it now because I'm writing in purple. Remember, what I write in purple is very important. Okay, so we drew a square root. We drew our plus minus. Y is completely isolated, and that is going to be our proof in a minute. I'll show you why. I'm going to show you why right now. On a test or a quiz, when I ask you to solve something algebraically, you can stop here, and it's going to be very clear to you to see why it's not a function when a picture isn't given. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an input value, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to have an input value of a 3. I'm going to plug in a 3. So y is going to equal positive or negative root of this stuff. Now, y'all remember, if you have a negative in front of the x, when you substitute in that 3, you've got to put that in parentheses. So it has to look like this. Okay. Order of operations. What do? Do I distribute the negative first, or do I do the exponents? Which one? Exponents or distribute? Yes. It was not part of the instruction at all. I'm just plugging it in to prove a point. I made that 3 up. Just made it up. Y'all remember PEMDAS? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. What? P stands for parentheses. E stands for? Oh, I have an exponent. You better do exponents first before you distribute. You always have to do your exponents first. So this is going to turn into 3 squared, of course, is 9. Then you distribute the negative. So this is going to be a negative 9 plus 25. What's negative 9 plus 25? 16. It is a 16. Y'all, 16 is a perfect square. What times itself makes 16? 4. Not just 4. And a minus 4. Remember, a negative times a negative is still a positive. So your output is a positive 4 and also a negative 4. Look, 1 input, 2 different outputs. So it is not a function, and you've proved it algebraically. Okay, so let's go ahead and pause this. Guys, if I put this into like a graphing calculator, what does it make? What is that? A line. All lines in the universe, every line in the universe is a function except one. Which line is not a function? All lines, you want a hint, are functions. There you go. Good job. Except vertical lines. That's why you use the vertical line test. So, and by the way, y is to what power right here? What is it understood when it's not written? First power, odd power, it's a function. All right. So let's talk about problem number 8. On problem number 8, we just solved this. Will you please try to solve algebra? First of all, is that a function or not? Sure is not. Why not? Yes, because the exponent for the y value is even. If I put this on a multiple choice test or quiz and you knew immediately, you don't have to show any work. Circle, yes, it is a not, or no, it's not a function. However, if you have a free response test or quiz question where you have to solve for y value, you have to show the solving. So please practice solving that. I need to take roll anyway. So please solve that problem. Is going to be y equals plus minus the square root of what goes in there? Yes, positive 2x plus 5. Good job. So that right there, not a function. I'll be looking for this stuff. All right, let's look at 9 and 10. So for problem 9, y is not by itself. What would you do to get y by itself? Yeah, and that's fine. You can have x in the denominator. You're going to have a lot of x's in the denominator. It's still a function. We don't have any weird plus minus, so this is a function. What about number 10? Is it a function? No, it's not. You've got y squared, not a function. So remember, let's see if you guys kind of remember the format to solve for this. This is going to be y equals what? Absolutely, the plus minus. And then remember, it's the square root symbol. And what's underneath? X squared. But if it's positive on this side, what is it on the other side? It's negative. If it's positive on the left, it's negative on the right of the equal sign. So this is negative x squared plus 1. And no, it is not a function.